Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm just getting myself organised at the minute because I'm in the summer kitchen, but it's January, so it ain't summer, and I've yet to have the greenhouse built to the side of the new building that we're in at the minute. Check out the last video on that one, the game changer one. And what are we looking at here? So I've got an internal temperature of 20 degrees Celsius, thanks to that wonderful heating system we've got in here. But outside it's minus 0.4 degrees Celsius, and we've got absolutely no wind. It's very overcast, and we've had some very icy rain, so it's nippy. So I'm in here, and what I'm going to do is sow some chili seeds. Now, I did a video last year about sowing chili seeds, and the thing is what I've come to realise is that goodness knows how many YouTube channels are out there about how to grow various types of fruit and veg. The thing is, they're all roughly the same, but I'm showing you how I do mine because my climate is completely different to yours. So I'm going to show you the basics of what we need. So the first thing is I've got my module tray. That's fine. Now, there's a few other things that we need. The first thing is I need a couple of sharp knives, and we'll come on to that in a minute because there's a mystery chili that I'm going to grow. And we need these wet wipes. Shouldn't really use them if you're going to throw them down the toilet. Make sure you dispose of them properly. But you need these. Why do you need these? You're going to find out in just a second. We'll pop those there. Now, the other thing is that I've decided to change the way that I label my seedlings, because we're all familiar with these things and they're really important, because it doesn't matter how many times you think you're going to do it, you are never going to remember what seeds you plant in your modules or in the ground, come to that. But I've labelled all these because I'm going to be going 3 different varieties here. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. Now, the reason for that is because if I want to keep changing these labels and write variety, if I don't grow them next year, I've got to try and get rid of that ink on that label. Most of the time you can't do it. So you're better off I'm better off, for me, doing it this particular way. So what I'll do is I'll have number 1 on a spreadsheet or in a notebook. So number 1, the variety of the fruit or the veg, the date that it was sown, and then as well as that, it will give me an opportunity to either add a date if I'm going to be transplanting, or the other most important thing for me is I always keep a check on how many kilos of certain things that we grow. So that will be on the end, and then I have that as a spreadsheet. And the beauty of it is I use Google Docs for that, and I can have it on my phone. So when I'm walking around, have a quick look, see what I'm looking at. But most of the time you're going to see it when the fruits appear. Now, back to the chilies. So I've got 3 varieties. Now, we grew chilies quite well last year outside, because we've got the climate here, which is continental warm, but they do like to be started off indoors. And because it's a long growing season for them, now is the perfect time to do it. So first one I've got is Tangerine Dream. I remember the name of that band called Tangerine Dream when I was a kid. However, let's not digress. So I want to get these open. And we'll see what we've got inside. It's the usual packet, and I'm looking up at the light. There's not many seeds in there. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just 6. As it says on the packet, 6 seeds. Okay, so now, here we go. There they are. So I've got my module tray here. Now what I've done is, the compost was outside in the shed. So I've filled up this module tray. I've given it a good drink, and I've warmed it up a little bit I actually used warm water to get some heat into this compost. And I've let it drain out. And so now it's nice and moist. Just going to firm them all down a little bit, like so. Now, there's another first for me here, and that is I'm using this newspaper. Never been done before. Okay, these are tiny seeds, and I've got to be careful about getting these out of the packet because I don't want to drop any. The thing about these packets, they're never easy to get into, are they? Right, let's get this open. And yeah, they're small. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to tip them out. I'm going to try and leave them in this little envelope that they're in. And we'll drop one in each of these modules. Now I'm left-handed, so I'm going to start on the left-hand side. We'll drop one in there. Then the next one. And the next. Makes a great TV, doesn't it? Now while I'm popping these in, I just wanted to mention to you that the podcast has restarted. And on that, come on, there's the sixth one. And on that podcast, it's giving you lots of other bits of information, nothing really to do with how I'm growing things here as such. Just got to move this seed out of the corner where it fell into. Pop that there. But things like climate change, stuff I'm seeing online that I'm condensing down into an easy format for you guys to follow. And then, you know, general bits and pieces like that, really. So, like I say, wherever you get your podcast from, at the moment it's on the Stack. I'll give you a link in the description below if you want to have a look that up. And it's on Spotify. I'm struggling to get it on YouTube for some reason. I don't know what's going on with that. And to be honest with you, I can't really be bothered with Apple because it's such a faff. Anyhow, back to this. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seedlings there of Tangerine Dream. It's number 1. There you go. And I'm going to put that there. Now, number 2 is this guy here. And it's saying that it's hot. Well, it's going to be because it's cayenne. And so exactly the same thing all over again. So I'm like looking at this thinking, oh, 6 seeds wasn't very much. But actually, if that gives me 6 plants, that's more than plenty. Because what I did notice last year was that, here we go, struggling to get in the packet again. They just keep fruiting. They just continue on and on and on. Now there's a lot more seeds in this, heck of a lot more. Am I going to use all of those? I don't think I am. But what I will do is I'm going to pop that to one side. And in front of the camera here, I've got another one ready to go. And in here, so these are modules 3, 6, 9, 12. I think 12 cayenne chili plants is going to be more than enough for me here. So I'm going to keep my hands dry, so I keep wiping them on my work trousers. Let's get these bad boys out, see what these look like. I might actually reuse the packet from the other guys. So let's see what we've got in here. Is that going to work? No, it's not. Right, okay. Into the hand it goes then. So we'll tip these out. What do you reckon I want these baby wipes for? There's a clue here. So we're just dropping these in, 1 per module. Freeze just kicked in. Like I said, I am in the summer kitchen, so apologies for any background noise. Go quiet when you sow seeds, don't you? So, while I'm doing this podcast, check it out. Spotify, Substack. All you got to do is search Diary of an Organic Grower, and that's where you're going to find us. And like I say, this is not about how to do things because, you know, as I've already mentioned, we're all different. I'm just showing you how I do mine. So we'll get those back in there. So that is number 2. See? So we'll pop him a bit closer to there. Now, this is where the fun starts. And I am going to use this part of the packet, because we've got to do some surgery. So the first thing I need to do is get these wrapped up and get them back in their packet. There you go. And we'll pop them over there. We finished with those. Right, that's that one, number 2. In fact, what I'm going to do first, when you're sowing seeds, apart from very few, celery is one. Most seeds, the rule of thumb is to look at it and think that you want to be sowing the seed 2 times the diameter of the seed into your compost, as a rule of thumb. Celery seeds, you just sow them directly onto the soil, and if you're going to sow them to transplant out, you cover them with a piece of glass and off they go. Right, now let's give that a little bit of a tap down. There you go. That's number 2. And we'll pop that there. Now here's the big boys. Put that on the floor. Now these guys, these are a mystery. I'm calling them a mystery chili. You see that? Now, during the summer, they appeared in one of the vegetable patches, and I let them go green and then red, and I've just let them dry out naturally in the kitchen on the shelf on the windowsill. And as you can see, my theory is that for these guys to grow in the vegetable patch as basically volunteer plants, they were pretty strong, and they gave me quite a few fruits. I only had two plants in actual fact, but it's given me quite a lot of seed. I've only brought out 3 this morning because, to be honest with you, I've never opened these, and I had no idea how many I was going to get in this. But as I peel this back, you can see I'm getting a lot of seeds out of this, quite a lot. Now here's my logic. Look at how many are in there. Let's get them all out. Come on. If you're going to do it, do it. So my logic is that these volunteers grew pretty well. I was impressed. And so I reckon that if I sow this lot, I'll be interested to see if I get any plants from these guys. So now I did buy this I bought chili seeds last year from a company in where were they? Austria. So I know that these aren't an F1 hybrid. So to all intents and purposes, they should grow. Right, now let's get these into this tray. Look at that. A lot more than I got in the packet. Whoops, I'll drop one. So we just drop one in each. They're tiny. We get one in each of here. Now, if these germinate, I'm going to have way too many. The thing is, I have absolutely no idea what variety these are. They won't blow your brains off heat-wise, but they certainly did have a kick to them. So exactly the same principle again. I think 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 plants? Do you know what? I reckon that's going to be enough. So 12 plants out of one fruit like that, I think is pretty good going. But you see, I'm tempted now to do more. So what I'm going to do, shall I or shan't I? I don't know. No, I'm not. But I hate wasting seeds. So for now, I've got those out. I'm going to pop them in to here. Treat them as spares. Those two can go back in the kitchen. And we'll put that to one side there for a moment. Now, there they are. They're not quite big compared to the others. Getting a bit messy. So we'll just, as before, just give them a light coating of compost. You don't need anything fancy with people know you've got to have potting seed compost and this, that and the other. No, you don't. All you want is a light compost that hasn't got too many bits in it like that, so that the little seedling when it grows isn't forced to go round it. You don't want it to be too heavy. You can, if you want to, add some vermiculite to it just to open it up a bit and give it a bit of air, but you just want it light and fluffy. So it holds the moisture. Give it a little bit of a tap down, as I've done with the others. And pick up your label. Number 3. Now, these guys will go into a tray. But before we do anything else, first job is to get the wet wipes. How do you open these? You need a couple of them. 1, 2. Push that one back in. Cover it up. Get it back over there. Now, with the wet wipes, one thing that's really important, wipe your hands. Because I tell you, over the years, when I've grown chilies, I learnt the hard way. And if you think that when you cut chilies in your kitchen, you're told, don't touch your eyes or any bits, or put your fingers in your mouth, because it's going to hurt. And in the case of the eyes, and it's happened to me, boy, do they sting. Now, it doesn't matter how many times you might think you've washed your hands well. There's always a residue. So my advice, I do this because I've learned the hard way. The other thing is, don't forget, wipe any utensils that you've used, because they might look small, but I tell you what, these guys can be pretty painful. Right, so there's my rubbish. Now, next job. We need this tray. And there it is for these guys. Now, the compost is moist. Great, job done. I don't really want to be in and out of here all the time, taking the lid off, and we're losing its humidity. You need a bit of humidity to get things going. So all I'm going to do is chuck some water in the bottom of here. Don't need a lot, just enough, like so, maybe a bit more. I want the bottom of the thing covered. And then I'm going to be placing these guys here into the tray, like so. And what's going to happen is that the compost is going to wick up the water in the tray. Oh, look, I haven't put the compost on this one. Do that. You always miss one, don't you? Never mind. Anyway, there we go. That's all done. Nicely covered. You go there. So we'll get you into there. Now, all I've got to do is put a lid on that, pop it on a warm windowsill, and that's it. And just leave them. They're going to take a long time to germinate. I can't wait to find out how the mystery chilies go. So stay tuned for that. Like I say, it's going to take some time to get going, but this is a perfect time of year to do it, especially for me here. Cold outside, got itchy fingers, hopefully not from the chili seeds, and you've got something that you can get sowing in most cases. Hope you found that interesting, and if you did, why not give me a thumbs up. In the meantime, take care and I'll see you soon.